All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this webinar where we're going to be talking about AI and handling complex customer problems. My name is Michael. I'm co-founder of Claimlane, and today will be just me talking, but I have my good colleague Jens with me behind the scenes who will be managing any questions. So please don't hold back. All right, let's dive in. As we are all completely aware by now, AI is having a massive impact in customer service in retail. This is probably where we see the biggest impact in anywhere in retail right now. It's in customer service. How we are thinking about customer service and how we were thinking about customer service is gonna have to change. The playbook we used a year ago or 6 months ago is not going to be competitive in another 6 months or 1 year from now. Don't get me wrong. I'm not in a Terminator mode here. I love humans and I think humans are going to still play a massive role in this, but we have to rethink the human role and our ambitions for the customer service departments. We're already seeing how the AI can handle the majority of the most common customer problems, such as where's my order? Can I cancel my order? Do you have this style in black, etc. And that raises the question from a lot of our customers. How about the complex problems, such as the warranty claims and the repairs? They involve logistics, they involve product know-how. There's a lot of emotions involved. There's so much more to handling those problems than the most common ones. So how should we approach that with AI? I like to think about it this way. We can either embrace it or we can be frightened of it. If we're frightened and we're not leaning in, we're most definitely gonna fall behind. But we can also take a more curious and open mindset, and then there is an abundance of opportunities here to actually change the role of the customer service teams. And that's what I want to be talking about today. It is how can we use the AI to remove all the boring, repetitive work, all the deep know-how and insights that is so difficult to obtain from any humans, and then put the humans in the center and actually let them thrive where we can make a real difference. That is what we believe in, and that is how we have designed our AI. So today we will be talking about 3 different topics. Let me just see if I can change my slides here. First of all, we'll be looking into why are the traditional customer service models struggling with the complex customer cases, such as repair and warranty claims. Secondly, where do today's AI work and where doesn't it work? Where is it breaking down? And finally, how is Claimlane then approaching this with our AI agent who will orchestrate the complex cases? So let's dive in. This will take about 20 minutes, I think. So we've been working with all types of post-purchase issues for the past 7 years at Claimlane. That is warranty claims, repairs, delivery issues, regular returns, anything really that can happen post-purchase. And that has taught us a lot about the complexities involved with a lot of these problems. And before we started, everything was very fragmented. It still is to some point. And that means businesses were piecing together the customer journey and their internal workflows for how to solve these problems. You would have your e-com system, you would have some form of communication in another system, you would have internal emails, spreadsheets, and all of that. So our approach to fixing this was connect everything in one place. So we've done that by designing a simple customer journey where customers can document all of their issues, and then connecting that to a ticketing system where we can build smart workflows. So we have overview of control of what is going on. Now, while this has certainly changed a lot and improved a lot, there's still one problem, and that is the human decision making. I call it a problem. Let's say an opportunity for improvement. And this is where we can see the AI actually can kick in. Because what exactly does it take for someone to be skilled enough to handle a warranty claim, for example? Well, first of all, you have to know your guiding policies in the business. Then you have to know about the specific problem for that specific product. You have to know about what type of outcomes we can provide to the customer given those certain circumstances. And sometimes we also need to involve our partners or suppliers to be able to resolve the issue. So if you're onboarding a new customer service agent today, there's a lot of stuff they will have to learn before they're really up to speed. And this is actually something we can do much, much smarter with the AI. So as a result of all of this, the way the teams operate with this today, it's very inflexible and it depends a lot of hero performances, as I call it sometimes, or individual skills and availability, right? We don't always have the computer expert guy in the office on the Sundays where the customer complain about the product. That's what I mean with availability. So to sum this up, there's still a lot we can improve. We can improve the customer experience, how fast we go back to them, how fast we resolve their problems. That's probably the one big thing we should be optimizing for. We can make smarter decisions. Are we always, are we always suggesting refunds today where we could actually do replacements or repairs or something like that instead? We can better scale our customer service organizations. We can better detect fraud because we will be able to spot patterns. And all around, we can actually just cost optimize our whole CS operations. So let's have a quick look at today's AI, where it works and where it breaks. So like I said before, customer service is becoming AI first and with impressive results. If you go to any software such as Zendesk or Gorgias or multiple others, they're all driven by AI today. And this is where a lot of businesses are seeing really good results in handling all those simpler or most common customer queries. Now, the thing is, they mainly focus on the simple cases, like I said, and not the complex problems, like the one we're talking about today. And why is that? Well, the problem is that they fundamentally lack the product-specific context, the insights and known issues, and the policy logic. So they actually lack information and context in order to be able to resolve or suggest solutions to customers when it becomes more advanced. And it's really the same thing we saw 10 years ago or 20 years ago when Zendesk and the similar solutions were introduced. They were designed to sort of take the bulk and the big volume tickets that were fairly simple to resolve, have a simple workflows for that, make it easy for customer service agents to work with it. It's very much the same we're seeing today with the AI agents, at least where they are today. So that's why we've decided to double down on our own AI agent. And I think we've decided to name him Fred. There's been a lot of discussions around what should the name be. So if you have any good ideas for names for an AI agent, just let us know in the comments. That would be fun to get some good inputs there. So let me talk a little bit about Fred and our thinking about this. So the way we approach this is, how do the best human agents solve complex customer problems today? And how can we replicate that? Let's take our best performing agent and say, learn everything from that person, and then teach the AI all of this. And if you break this down, there are four key elements that need to be in place to solve these complex products. First of all, we have our rules. Rules are our guiding policies for what we accept in terms of claims, repairs, returns, etc. Then we need to know about the actual data provided by the customer, the images and the videos. We need to be able to analyze it and see what's going on. We need to know about the historical tickets. What have we seen in the past for this specific product with this specific problem? And finally, of course, we want to know about the customer. Have they submitted 10 claims in the past or one? And how will that affect our decision making? So if we take these one by one, and this is how we actually, now I'm showing you how we're setting up our AI agents in Claimlane today. So the first thing we do is we design some rules. And the rules, like I said, they are our fundamental guiding policy. So imagine you hire a new CS agent today. What would you be teaching them on the first day about how we deal with different types of customer problems? That is essentially what we're telling the AI here with simple text prompts. This can be for specific products, product issue types, suppliers, and much more. Then we look at the images and the videos, right? So today, as a human, we would open the videos and the images provided by the customer, and we would look at it and see what is actually the issue the customer is talking about here. And we would try to hold that up against the description, and then we would see, do these things even match up and align? Well, now you can have the AI analyze the picture, even analyzing the videos and summarizing that and comparing that to the problem description that the customer has provided. Then we look at historical tickets. And this is really, we look at the product history. So what do we know about recurring issues for a specific item? Let's take an example. You receive a chair, or the customer complains that the chair is broken in the leg. How would you think about that? Well, first of all, you would see, is that a problem we've seen before? Oh, actually it is. How do we usually resolve that? Well, we actually suggest that the customer should get a spare part. So all of a sudden, we're already looking at, okay, we know the problem and we know how we've solved it in the past. And now the AI can use that in order to suggest that very solution to the next customer. And the more we use it, the smarter and more confident the AI model gets. The final thing is, of course, our customer history. So this is where we will see if the customer is submitting a massive amount of tickets, and we are able to spot if there are any specific patterns in those types of issues. That may actually be able to flag as a fraudulent case. But also, we will summarize the customer's tickets, which gives us a very good context for how we want to solve the problem or how we want to communicate with the customer. So if we bring all of this together, the Claimlane AI agent becomes this orchestration layer for handling the complex cases. So what we're doing is We're looking at all the data. We're using the context provided by the customer. We're using all the insights we have from previous and old tickets. And then we're putting it into this smart and structured workflow that we already have designed, right? That means we can now easily communicate with our suppliers that have already been connected to Claimlane. We can issue refunds or replacements because we have integrations with our ERP systems or e-commerce systems, and much more. So we are basically working efficiently while also creating smart workflows at scale where we can always track and manage what's going on. So the outcome of all of this is basically on a ticket, when you're working with the customer, you will get a detailed action plan of how it works. And now I will show an example of what this looks like inside of Claimlane in our demo environment. So we are now inside of a ticket in Claimlane. In this case, we have a customer that has submitted a warranty claim. We can see all the customer details as well as the data they have provided. In this case, we can see that there's an image of a bag and seemingly with some zipper issues. The customer has provided some description of the fault. So now typically as a human agent, we would be evaluating this and making an assessment of whether this is a valid claim or not. This is where our first rules comes in. Then we would assess the issue and be like, what is actually the best outcome for this customer in this specific case? And this is where our agent can help us. So if we look at the agent here, first of all, it will summarize the customer. And well, this is a demo ticket. So this customer has had 53 tickets in the past. Quite unusual, I assume, but nonetheless, very good context for how we would help this customer. We can also see patterns about what type of issues it has been and what type of products it has been. Then we can see issues about the specific hiking backpack, and it will then start suggesting actions. And actions are basically, we think you should send this customer a message, and then it will detail why based on the rules that we have created. Following that, it would suggest that we forward this case to the supplier in order to get a refund or whatever is relevant in that specific case. If you're thinking here, this actually doesn't quite make sense in terms of how I think it should behave, then we can just let the AI know here and then, and it will actually learn from it. Let's take another example. This is from a customer that I spoke to yesterday that has been testing our new AI agent. In this case, we have again a customer that submitted a claim request. In this case, it's a mouse pad that has been that is somewhat broken. At least that's what the German description tells me here. Das Mauspad kommt einen recht großen Fleck. Scheiße. I'm not so good at German, but luckily our AI friend Fred is. So what is Fred telling us? Well, he's telling us this is the first ticket we've had for this specific customer. Okay. The customer reports that the mouse pad arrived damaged with a large oily stain. Thank you. Now I don't need to worry about the German part. And that is confirmed by the image. And then here's a good thing. The issue is consistent with the previous tickets we've had with the same product, where another customer reported stains appearing as well. So now our AI is using that previous knowledge and insight about that product, an issue, to suggest an action plan. It suggests that we should issue a replacement to the customer with a description as why. We should send a message to the customer, which it will actually also suggest down here. And then finally, it should change the status and ultimately archive the ticket once it's completed. So if we look at the history of this case, We send out the message to the customer. We understand that you've received this product that was faulty. We acknowledge the problem, and then we give clear instructions on how they can return the item, and we provide a label. All of this due to the integrations we've created. Now we're back to sort of the whole orchestration of things. The consumer replies within a few minutes, "Hi, yes, please send me a replacement, and I will return the other one as soon as I can." This sounds like a case solved, and really all we had to do as a human here was just click, insert the message, and run the action. Now, the way a lot of our customers are introducing these AI agents is a step-by-step approach. So a lot of us want the AI to start working as a co-pilot, summarizing the issues, suggesting solutions that we can use. But this will slowly become more and more and more, and then the customer can go back and chat with the customer, ask follow-up questions, and even run actions at some point. And do we have a question, Jens?
Yeah, Victoria asks, is this reply automated? So it's on the Mac.
Yeah, so we're getting a question whether this reply is automated. And the reply can be automated, but what we suggest you do as a beginning when you start is basically you insert the item yourself or the reply yourself. So basically you approve and say, this was actually a good reply. Because that way you're also teaching the AI, this was a good outcome. And that's actually a really good question, because that's how we suggest that any organization introduce the AI. It doesn't need to be a big bang thing where we're completely rethinking everything we've ever done and now everything is on autopilot. No, we are basically introducing the AI with some basic rules, and then we're giving it feedback as we go along. As you can see here, there's this adjust plan option. You basically just click here, and then you are telling it, actually, in this case, you should have applied this, or we should have suggested a replacement instead. So to summarize that part, first of all, it will become an autopilot, saving you a lot of time. And then slowly it will start having the simple communication with the customer, maybe acknowledging that you have received their case on a Sunday evening, asking a follow-up question if we're missing a batch number or we can see something is incorrect. And then once we become really comfortable, it will become a true agentic AI that actually can solve tickets all by itself. And this is where we see the AI going. We want it to solve all the heavy lifting, the boring work, so we can put humans in the driving seat in the center and actually make a difference where we can bring our empathy and true knowledge of how to deal with customers. So to get started, it's actually just about setting it up and then slowly teaching it. And then I think within a few weeks or even months, you will start to see that it can really kick in and make a big difference for you. Also, in terms of troubleshooting, like let's say we have a computer. It's a very advanced technology. It comes in this, there could be a lot of different things wrong with the customer. Well, today we would have to have certain team members that are experts in that specific category, perhaps, right? Well, now the AI can slowly start helping any agent become category expert. And this gives us a lot more flexibility for all team members to be solving all types of problems. So one of the takeaways I would like to have everyone thinking about today is basically how can we rethink the role of our customer service team, where we put humans in the center and let the AI do all the heavy lifting. Yeah, and I'm seeing we have one more question here.
Francis asks, if the customer requests a replacement but no inventory on that product is available, do you have a system in place to recommend alternative items in stock?
Okay, so Francis asks if we would want a replacement for, we should suggest a replacement for the customer, but that specific item is not in stock, if we can recommend a different solution to the customer, a different product. I do not believe we have that specific feature right now, but if we go back to what Claimlane can do with actions, we can actually create replacement orders for any type of products. So there's not very far from actually using information about what alternatives could we use to also replacing or to creating a new order for that customer. Do we have more questions, Jens? No? All right. Well, that was pretty much 25 minutes as promised. I hope this was insightful and that you're all a little bit more eager on getting started with AI. The team at Claimlane is certainly very, very excited to be talking to all of our customers and helping you all getting started with this. So please reach out to me or any one of my colleagues, and we'd love to see how we can get you started. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for listening in.